All right, what's cracking, everybody? New video. Um, this video is in response to a comment that was left on my input on the CDC integration. As usual, I'm not going to say the person's name. You guys can see the comment. I don't want anybody bashing anyone. But I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to respond. You guys know me. I don't write nothing down. I don't prepare anything. I speak from my heart, from my life experience and whatever. Okay. So here we go. This guy says, "Hey, big dog, I see your point, but I think of this situation as the same as the president of El Salvador putting 18th Street and MS-13 in the same prisons and starving them if they don't behave. If SNYs want to be gangs so bad, then put them in with the big dogs. Let the trash take itself out. It's up to the inmates if they want to be mature and set differences aside or not. You guys are treating the CDCR like the big bad parent, but in fact, it's the inmates, aka the children of this CDCR parent, that are bad. And sometimes bad children need a good spanking to learn their lesson, homie. Straight up. Feel free to agree to disagree, but that's my opinion." So I want to be respectful. Everything that I say in this, I don't intend it to be disrespectful, but I'm going to tell you right now that I feel you're a correctional officer. And if you are, my bad, but I'm going to tell you why. The first thing that jumped out at me to tell me that you were a correctional officer was this line here. If SNYs want to be gangs so bad, then put them in with the big dogs. Let the trash take itself out. You're calling both sides trash. You're calling the actives and the SNY trash, and that's a term that the COs use. They call out all everybody incarcerated, convict, inmate, SNY active. They call them all trash. Okay, so that was the first thing that set an alarm off in my head, right? And if you're a CO, then anything that I have to say won't change your opinion. And so I'll speak to everyone else. Anyone else that is of the opinion that, lock them up and throw away the key, fuck them, you know, when they're in there, whatever happens, what happens, and all this and that. Um, I've said it a bunch of times and I'll say it again. There's an old saying: judge a society by the way they treat their inmates. If we're going to use incarceration as punishment, anyone who's of the mindset that incarceration should be punishment, you have to accept what comes with that. 80% of the population within the CDC returns back to society. Those of you that believe that, shut the fuck up when somebody breaks in your car. Shut the fuck up if somebody robs your store, does anything. Because you were of the mindset that while they're incarcerated, let them be savages. Let them be even worse than they were when they went in. I'm of the mindset where give them an opportunity to become better men. You can't force them to, but you'd be surprised how many men in there are getting degrees. You'd be surprised how many men in there are practicing sobriety, going to AA and NA, and are becoming better men because of the programs that are now available to them that weren't available before. You also got to understand that there are many, many, many men. It's not one or two. Many men who are incarcerated for crimes they didn't commit. That happens. That's the unfortunate thing about a justice system like ours, right? If you don't have the money for the proper representation, you may get fucked. More than likely you will. And I personally met I'd say like 10 dudes that didn't do the crime they were busted for. One of them was very close to me, and it was one of his own family members that did it. And that family member never sent him a dime, never sent him a package, never sent him a letter, never bought his kids anything. Fuck that guy, right? But I'm just saying, man, you know, if your son or your daughter, the person that wrote this, ever found themselves in a situation where they were convicted for something they didn't do, or maybe unfortunately, and I don't wish this on you. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I talk how I talk. I'm passionate about certain things. But if your child got caught up in addiction and wound up, you know, boosting something, getting caught up, is in a car with somebody, and, you know, something serious happens to him, keep that same mindset about your own child. Your child would be the child of the CDC, no longer yours, like you say. And it would be the bad child because you're saying it as if the CDC is good. You don't have an idea how you see COs come in fresh out of the academy, and next thing you know, within a couple years, they got a shaved head like me. They got ink just like me. You listen to the way they talk, they're trying to talk just like me. You know, the CDC is known to have had correctional officers create gangs. The Sharks are a famous one, the ones that were fucking people off in Corcoran. The Green Wall. Those are the two main ones. So don't tell me any of this bullshit about the CDC's good. The CDC is a billion, not even billion. I think they're over $12 billion in their budget, and our budget for this state on corrections. What is, I want to know. I didn't Google it, and I should have. That's my bad. But I'm asking everybody else. In this state, in the state of California, look up our budget, the California budget. What is the educational budget? And then what is the fucking the prison budget, man? We need to invest in education. The way that you make people better, the way that you give people opportunities to become better and to become productive and to enhance our communities and our society is through education, through opening up the minds. There's always going to be those who grow up, and I'll put myself in that, who have to learn the hard way. You know, prison is full of guys that thought they were smarter than the guy that got busted right before them. I was one of them. Somehow the Lord found himself wanting to help me and giving me peace and understanding in my heart and my mind. And that's why I do what I do with this channel. You know, I know these are the type of videos, these are the ones I'm the most passionate about, and they're going to get the least amount of views. But I know that the people that see them are the people that are supposed to see them. I don't like this whole, you know, like you said, we can agree to disagree, and I firmly disagree with you. I firmly disagree with making a person who I've seen it. I've seen guys go in that were petty criminals, and then when they went in there, got a little infatuated with certain ideas in there, and went from a level 1 to a level 4 to a life sentence. You know, and that's what happens when you have the mentality of make them savages, fuck them, let them fend for themselves. Those men behind those walls have a code of ethics. They have their community laws that they're gonna follow to the T, right? And so none of us that have spoken on this have said that those guys should come to a peaceful solution, because Their ethics won't allow it, right? But us out here, we have the ability to put pressure on the lawmakers, to put pressure on the policymakers, to tell them, like, you know what's going to happen if you do these things. That's blood on your hands, you know? Anyone that's never done time, that's never been a convict or even an inmate, ever been a criminal, if you've never been behind those walls, please stop trying to use the rationale of the society outside of the walls and apply it to those inside. They're two completely different worlds that have nothing to do with each other. You know, I think that's common sense, but you know, they say common sense ain't all that common. In that world, it's dog eat dog. In that world, self-preservation is key. Every one of them men in there, regardless of their affiliations, would like to make it through the day, you know? And there are so many men in there right now that are taking advantage of all these programs, man, that are bettering themselves, that would be productive in society. And this integration is jeopardizing that because they have to survive in a world that is so unlike this world. So I guess I don't have anything more that I could add other than to repeat myself over and over. Nobody needs that. Again, if you're not a SEAL, I'd be shocked. I didn't mean it as disrespect, but the words that you used lead me to believe you are. The stance that you're taking is one of it sounds like you would be a newer SEAL too if you're a SEAL. Because you know, just like there's a difference between an inmate and a convict, there's a difference between a guard and a CO. This is a language a CO would use. Anyways, man, with that, I'm done. I'm gone. Tell the ones that you love them. All right. Stay positive, man. Be safe and be smart. I'm out.